Today I'm going to talk about both 5-7 and 5-8. In section 5-7 we are going to graph linear inequalities, and in 5-8 we are going to graph systems of linear inequalities. So let's start with 5-7, just graphing linear inequalities. If I say y is less than 3, please remember that any y equals line is horizontal. So I'm going to graph this y equals line, and notice that this is not equal to it. So I'm going to represent that with a dashed line. If it was equal to it, it would be a solid line. Now I want to shade where y is less than this line. And so I ask you, where is y less than this line? Above it or below it? That's right, it's going to be less than it, below it. So we are just simply going to shade below. And this is the solution I'm going to want to see. All right, how about x is greater than 1/2? Hopefully you remember that x equals is a vertical line. It's again not equal to it, so my line will be dashed. And I want everything greater than that line. So where is x greater than this line? To the right or to the left? Hopefully you'll agree with me that it's greater than it to the right. And that's my solution. Now let's take it up a notch and look at more linear equations with both variables. If y is less than 3x, my y-intercept is 0, and my slope is 3. I go up 3 and over 1. Again, it's less than it. So I have a dashed line. And then I look at this equation, and y needs to be less than this line. So where is y less than the line? Are the values of y less than above it or below it? Hopefully you agree with me that y gets smaller below the line. So I'm going to go ahead and shade where y goes down below. All right, let's just for funsies go ahead and make this a greater than or equal to. Now at this point my y-intercept is still 0. And my slope is negative. So I am going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. And since it's equal to it, my line should be solid. Now I want all the values of y that are bigger than this line. Where does y get bigger than this line? Above it or below it? That's right, it gets bigger above it. So I simply shade above. So that is how we graph linear equalities. Graph your line and ask if it's supposed to be bigger than, you should shade above, and if it's supposed to be less than, you should shade below. Let's try one more of those. You know what? We're not going to try one more of those. I would like you to bring in this question with a graph to class tomorrow. Let's do one of these together, and then I'd also like you to bring this one into class tomorrow. When I'm graphing a system, I'll just graph each line separately. For this first graph, I have y is greater than or equal to a -4. So I'm going to go ahead and make a horizontal line at -4. And notice that I'm going to want to shade above. Now I'm going to wait to shade until I have both lines graphed. In this second line, my y-intercept is 0. My slope is 1. I go up 1 and over 1. Again, it's equal to it. So it's a solid line. And I want everything that is less than this line. So I'm going to shade below. Now, where are these lines shaded for both? Hopefully you see the arrows point at this middle section. So that means that I am going to highlight right here in the middle. All right, you have 2 problems to attempt for me for tomorrow. And maybe let's just do one more together to make sure you're good to go before I see you tomorrow. Here, let's do this one. We haven't done anything like this. Wouldn't you need to solve for y first? Let's add 2x to both sides. Divide by -3. Ooh, remember your inequality flips. And then here you're going to go down 3 I'm going to start at -3. My slope is negative. I go down 2 and over 3. It's not equal to it, so my line is dashed. And I'm looking to shade the values of y that are less than that line. That means I would need to shade below. All right, we can do a few more tomorrow in class, but I'd like you to come in with the starred problems, and I will see you tomorrow.